بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونحن في الصفحة الثامنة والثمانين. We're on page number 88. الدرس الثامن, when the 8th lesson. We have accomplished a lot, and we're at this lesson. It has proceeded. This lesson has proceeded, but now we're going to focus on it. But you already know it. You already know it. We've had dozens of examples of it. But now we're going to break it down and dissect it and get a better understanding of it and when to use it and how to use it. And that's the point here. Now we want to focus on this. Now we already took the first 7 or 8 sentences, so we're going to proceed and continue where we left off at. These are the last 2 sentences that we took, number 5 and 6. And this is where we want to start. This is called mudaf or mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf. Mudaf is added to be added. And the other one is added to. Mudaf. Mudaf ilayhi. Now, we learn, barakallahu fikum, in this book by comparison. We take advantage of somebody knowing one thing and we compare with something else and we build from that. And we learn from comparison a lot. We take advantage of that. The lesson before this was Lamul Mulk. The lesson from this was Lamul Mulk. So we have these sentences here, barakallahu fikum. Everything that's on the right in it, it shows possession with Lamul Mulk. Mudaf mudaf ilay, from the benefits of mudaf mudaf ilay is possession. That's from its benefits. Not the only thing, but that's from its benefits. It conveys possession. It's another way of conveying possession. So let's look down here on number 5. We're going to continue from number 5 and 6. Okay. You're going to repeat after me. You're going to repeat after me. We're not going to just look at the meaning, but we want to correct our reading and our speaking. We're starting from number 5. هذه السيارة لنا. This car is for us, or it belongs to us. But a sayyara has an alif lam. Sayyara has an alif lam. هذه السيارة. ولنا, the lam is lamul mulk. It belongs to us. Lam there, lamul mulk, and it has the mir muttasil. Are you with me? Lana. Are you with me? A sayyara has the alif lam, al, and the damir has lamul mulk, lana. So when we look at the other side, it says hadihi sayyaratuna. This is our car. Hadihi sayyaratuna. There's no alif lam on sayyara. Neither is there, nor is there lamul mulk. So this is a shorter way of saying the same thing. It's a shorter way of conveying the same message. Forget the same translation. That's not what we're about. The same translation. The same meaning, the same message. That's what's important. Now, the same meaning is conveyed. Okay. We know sayyaratuna, this is damir muttasil. And it's important for us to know that damir muttasil is mudaf mudaf ilay. Sayyara is mudaf, wanna, damir muttasil is mudaf ilay. Now, so we already studied damir muttasil from the beginning of the book, but I didn't take that time. I didn't want to tell you all that there was mudaf mudaf ilay, because I didn't want to preoccupy you with these terminologies at that time, way at the beginning of the book. But now that you have studied so much, it's okay to bring it up. Okay? Let's look. So, sayyaratuna, it means as-sayyara lana. Sayyaratuna, it means as-sayyara lana. Are we together on that? So number 6, you repeat after me. هذه الكتب لكم. These books are for you. So we know that it's a complete sentence. I said al-kutub lakum, the books are for you all. We don't need hadihi. We don't need hadihi. Hadihi is just emphasizing, I'm pointing at exactly what books I mean. So it's total clarity. We understand that, right? We don't need hadihi. The sentence al-kutub lakum is a complete sentence. But if there was a lot of books in the room, and let's say the books are for you all, you might think all the books. So I'm going to point at a group of them, and I'm going to say hadhihi al-kutub lakum. Okay? We understand that. Hadhihi is just to emphasize and to specify. Okay? All right, let me turn off these videos. Okay. So when we look at the other side, it says hadihi kutubukum. You'll repeat after me. Hadihi kutubukum. This one we need hadihi. This one we need hadihi. These are your books. These are your books. We need hadihi in this sentence. That's right. Kutub is mudaf, and damir muttasil is mudaf ilay. Na'am. Kutubukum, your books. These are your books. These are your books. These are your books. But what does kutubukum mean? Kutubukum means al-kutub lakum. Now, all right. So let's move on. We're moving on. Y'all repeat after me. أين الغطاء لهذا القلم? What does that mean? أين الغطاء لهذا القلم? أين الغطاء لهذا القلم? Where is the cover to this pen? Like the cover for this pen. Where is the cover to this pen? Where is the cover to this pen? So let's look at the other side. أين غطاء هذا القلم? I mean, where is the cover of this? We don't need the word al-qalam. We don't read al-qalam. أين غطاء هذا? Where's the cover of this? Where's the cover for this pen? Where's the cover of this pen? But if I was holding it up in my hand, I would say, where's the cover for this? I don't have to say the word pen. أين غطاء هذا? And I'm holding it up. Are y'all with me? Are you all with me? أين غطاء هذا? غطاء هذا, the cover of this. The cover of this. The cover for this. However you want to translate it. Translating is not what concerns me. It's the meaning. أين غطاء هذا القلم? Where is the cover of this pen? Cover of this pen. The cover of this pen. Number 8. أين الستارة لهذه النافذة? Repeat it. I'm not concerned with the translation. I'm not concerned with the translation. You can say this pen's cover, right? I'm not concerned with the translation. The main thing that you understand. Time number 8. أين الستارة لهذه النافذة? What does that mean? Where is the curtain? One, not curtains, for this window. Both of them are singular. Both of them are singular, no plural. Where is the curtain for this window? أين الستارة لهذه النافذة? Where is the curtain for this window? So as-sitara has a alif lam. As-sitara has a alif lam. And lam al-mulk is attached to hadihi. As-sitara lihadihi. And I'm pointing at the window. As-sitara lihadihi. Where is the curtain for this? For this window. And I'm pointing at it. So now when we go to mudaf, the mudaf cannot have an alif lam. The mudaf cannot have an alif lam. The mudaf, it cannot have an alif lam. It cannot have an alif lam. Okay, remember that. If you see alif lam, it can't be like that. Okay. أين ستارة هذه النافذة? Yeah, repeat after me. Alaikum salam. أين ستارة هذه النافذة? Where is the curtain of this window? Where is the curtain of this window? How we doing? And these are the building blocks. These are the building blocks. You are so familiar with Arabic sentences. You have been familiarized with the basics of an Arabic sentence. Now, that's what you have learned all these lessons. Number 9. هل هذه المفاتيح للمسجد؟ هل هذه المفاتيح للمسجد؟ What does that mean? Are these keys for the masjid? Right. Are these keys? Now, why is it هذه? Why is هذه feminine? Why is هذه feminine? هل هذه المفاتيح? Right, because keys is plural. Because keys is plural. Very good. You have to know that. These are the basics of an Arabic sentence. You all are doing well. And if you reach this far with Allah's permission, then you can finish the book with proficiency. If you reach this far, these are the basic fundamentals. And we took it step by step, chapter by chapter. Nothing is all mixed up together. Nothing is mixed up, step by step by step, developing slowly, building on each lesson on another. Nothing is all just mixed up. You're not thrown under the bus. No more being thrown under the bus. Okay? Next one. Look at المفاتيح has ألف لام. للمسجد has لام الملك. المفاتيح للمسجد. The keys for the masjid. المفاتيح للمسجد. The keys for the masjid. Let's look at the other side. هل هذه مفاتيح المسجد? It's a simpler way of saying the same thing. It's simple. هل هذه مفاتيح المسجد? That's right. You're dropping the alif lam and you're dropping the lam wal mulk. Two things. So it's a shorter and briefer way. And this is what is preferred in Arabic, being brief. In Arabic, but why would we go the long way? Just to emphasize. Why would we bring the alif lam and the lam wal mulk if we need to emphasize and clarify? And I want you to understand that. Sometimes you have to clarify things, depending on who you're speaking of, what you're saying. Somebody might deny what you're saying. Somebody say, no, that's not it. And you say, these are hadihi. And you might have to, hadihi li Ahmed. You have to emphasize sometimes. Okay. Number 10. Ahmadu fil ghurfa lit duyuf. You all are repeating after me, because when you repeat, I want you to read it and absorb it. I want you to read it and comprehend it. It's not just reading. I want you to comprehend its meaning. Ahmadu fil ghurfati lit duyufi. What does this mean? Ahmadu fil ghurfa lit duyuf. Ahmed is in the room for the guest. Right? Ahmed is in the room for the guest. So now when we look at the other side, Ahmadu fi ghurfati duyuf. Okay, when you say Ahmed is in the guest room, that's mudaf mudaf ilayh. The first one does not say the guest room. Don't rush. The one that says al-ghurfa lid-duyuf, that does not mean guest room. It's the room for the guests. Y'all are with me? The first side, al-ghurfa lid-duyuf, there's no way you can just say that means the guest room. No, it has the room and it has for the guest. Okay. Now on the other side, when it says Ahmed fi ghurfati duyuf, you could call that the guest room. the guest room. غرفة الضيوف. They mean the same thing. One is just a little bit more emphasized. One is a little bit more emphasized. Na'am. Barakallahu fikum. We got three more here. هذه الملابس للكفار. Again. هذه الملابس للكفار. What does that mean? These clothing are for disbelievers, right? These clothing are for disbelievers. These clothing for disbelievers. Look at the next side. هذه ملابس الكفار. هذه ملابس الكفار. These are the clothing of the disbelievers. These are the clothing of the disbelievers. Like a Muslim woman, some clothes that the disbelievers wear, a Muslim woman wouldn't do anything with it except wash her windows with it. What would you do with that little piece of clothing? What are you going to do? Wipe your table with it? That would have must a rag. That's a rag for a Muslim woman. What are you supposed to do with that? That's a clothing? What are we supposed to do with that? Na'am. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored us. Na'am. Number 12. Al-hafila lil-awaili amam al-masjid. Again. Al-hafila lil-awaili amam al-masjid. What does that mean? The bus for the families is in front of the masjid, right? The bus for the families is in front of the masjid. So I want you to understand, amam al-masjid is mudaf ilayh, but it doesn't convey possession. It doesn't convey in front of the masjid. No. And there's some certain words that always comes mudaf ilayh. Like on top of, underneath of, on the right of, next to it, above it. It always comes from mudaf ilayh. Look at the other side. Hafilatul awaili amam al-masjid. Hafilatul awail amam al-masjid. So we took the alif lam off al-hafila, and we took lamul mulk off lil awaili. Are you with me? Now, how would you translate that? We don't have to get into a debate about the translation. The bus for the families is in front of the masjid. The same way it is English, the bus for the families. Let me explain something to you. It says hafila. There's no alif lam on it. It says hafila. Hafilatul awa'il. When the mudaf ilay, listen to this. When the mudaf ilay is ma'rifa, the whole statement is ma'rifa. Okay. Well, let's look here 1 second. When the mudaf ilay is ma'rifa, the whole thing is ma'rifa. When the mudaf ilay is nakira, the whole thing is nakira. So what does this mean? Baytul mudarris. What does that mean? Baytul Mudarris. The house of the teacher. Is the house. Or is the teacher's house. The teacher's house. The house of the teacher. Okay? So if the mudaf gets attached to something that's ma'rifah, the whole thing is what? The whole thing is ma'rifah. So what does this mean? Baytu mudarrisin. Baytu mudarrisin. What does that mean? Baytu mudarrisin. A house of a teacher. A teacher's house. It's not, it's nakira now. A teacher's house. Which teacher? We don't know. We don't know. It's nakira. So mudaf to a nakira is nakira. It's going to be a teacher. Mudaf to a ma'rifah is going to be the teacher. The teacher's house. The house is going to be the house of the teacher. Because if the mudaf gets something, attaches something ma'rifah, the whole phrase is ma'rifah. And if the mudaf gets attached to something nakira, the whole thing remains nakira. How we doing? Okay. Very good. Very good. This is the last one, number 13. So here we have 13 sentences. Actually, it's 26. No. That's what we just said. That's what we just said. That's what we just said. Now, the mudaf cannot have an alif lam. The mudaf cannot have an alif lam. The mudaf at the beginning cannot have an alif lam. It cannot have an alif lam. The mudaf ilay, it can either be with an alif lam or with alif lam. The mudaf ilay, it could be nakira or it could be ma'rif. Do we understand the rule? Do we understand? Do we understand now? Okay. Let's move on. الطبيب للأسنان هناك في المستشفى. Again. الطبيب للأسنان هناك في المستشفى. Okay, what does that mean? The dentist is in the hospital. What it really means, the doctor that specializes in teeth, the doctor for teeth is in the hospital. That's not how you say that. You don't say الطبيب للأسنان. That's a long, specific way of saying it. Detailed way. Let's look at the other side. It says طبيب الأسنان. طبيب الأسنان هناك في المستشفى. Again, طبيب الأسنان هناك في المستشفى. That's how you say dentist. طبيب الأسنان. That's how you say dentist. You don't say الطبيب للأسنان. That's a longer, detailed way of saying it. That's a longer, detailed way of saying it. Okay. So now we have these exercises. And these exercises here, this one you have 9 sentences, and this one you have 9 sentences, both of them. You're going to do this for homework. All of these sentences. This, you're going to change the alif lam and the lam wal mulk to mudaf mudaf ilay. And the other one, you're going to do the opposite. We're going to take our time. Follow me. Listen closely. It says, اكتب هذه الجملة كما في المثال. Write these sentences as it comes in example. أين الطعام للضيوف. This one has an alif lam and lam wal mulk. Where is the food for the guest. You're going to write Aina ta'amud daif. You're going to take off the alif lam off of ta'am. And you're going to take lamul mulk off lif daif. And you're going to say Aina ta'amud daif. We understand that? Where is the food for the guest? Look at number 2. هذا الدرس للأولاد. You're going to take off the alif lam off the dars, and you're going to take off the lam wal muk for أولاد. هذا درس الأولاد. هذا درس الأولاد. The lesson of the kids. هذه البيوت للطلاب. You're going to take the alif lam off of البيوت, and you're going to take off the lam wal muk of طلاب. And we have 9 sentences. You're going to do all of these. Whoever wants to send their sentences, I'm going to do it on homework. I'm going to record it. I'm going to put it on the homework. All these 9. And then you're also going to do this. We're going to come back in class and do this. This one on the right-hand side is mudaf ilay. Hada kitabu Ahmed. Hada kitabu Ahmed. This is Ahmed's book. You're going to change it to what? You're going to put an alif lam on kitab, and you're going to put lam al muk on Ahmed. Hada al kitab li Ahmed. And this is strengthening you. This is strengthening you. This is making you capable. And you have to read it clearly so that you can do it. So what I want you to do, we're going to come to class tomorrow. Okay? We're going to do all this. But when we're finished, I'm just going to say, Ain al-ta'am lil-dayf. And you're going to say, Ain al-ta'am lil-dayf. And I'm going to say, Hada dars li-awlad. You're going to say, Hada dars al-awlad. You're just going to say, I'm just going to come with a sentence with the lam wal muk, and you're going to say it, you're going to make it mudaf ilay spontaneously. But first, we're just going to start with these 2 exercises. This is getting the basic fundamentals of Arabic. If you don't understand that, this is the least I want you to understand. That this here, lesson number 8, Na'am, is this an additional lesson of the basic fundamentals you need to learn Arabic. And we have a problem. So many people study Arabic and they don't know what you know already. From Damir Munfasil, Damir Muttasil, and Ma'rifah wa Nakira. You know how many people study Arabic before you, and they don't know that a sentence has to have a Ma'rifah and a Nakira, and if it has 2 Ma'rifahs, then it has to have a pronoun between them? Do you know how many people don't understand what Damir Muttasil conveys? And it conveys 2 things. It conveys that it's Ma'rifah, and it conveys also that possession. Do you know what you have kunuz, you have treasures. You have things that people have studied, but they don't know the purpose behind it, the benefit behind it. And you all have benefited a lot. You have benefited a lot. So now when you go and just add the verb to it, you have the basis of a sentence. You have the basis. You can understand why it's correct, why it's incorrect. But this lesson that we're doing here is very pertinent. This lesson that you know what mudaf ilay is, and you know what lam wal muk is. We had a whole lesson. This whole lesson right here is lam and muk. I just want to add, I just found a deficiency in the book. And that deficiency in the book is that here, it just mentions these 6 here together, but it nowhere does it mention the other 6 in this chapter. It doesn't have lana, wa lakum, wa lakunna, wa lahum, wa lahunna, wa lakuma. So I just saw this in the book. It's not necessary to have, but it would be at the end of the chapter if I gathered all of it up at the end of the chapter so the student can see it. It would be an increasement. So inshallah, that's something else that we have to fix in the book. I just picked that up, and that's how books are. You always pick something up that's faulty or deficient. Do you understand what I just said about this chapter, about this lesson right here? It's missing that, right? Right. But that's good. This whole chapter here is on lam and muk. And then the next chapter is closely related to it. The next chapter, look, this whole story here, this Lamb with Milk, the whole story. And now this chapter is closely related, and you need both of them to work together. Now, and that which just comes after is a very easy chapter, but you'll have to do this for homework. You're going to take your time. We're going to come back. I'm going to do it for homework. I'm going to put both of them for homework. Now, and we pray Allah bless us. We're going to stop here. Today's class was a half hour. We're doing good. Today's class was a half hour. We're doing good. Is everything clear? Now, everything clear? All right, we're going to stop here. I have a question on number. What's that? Is number correct? What's that? I have a question. Is number correct? On what number? What number? Number 5. On the first lesson? Number 5. Number 5. هذه السيارة لنا. هذه سيارتنا. نعم. Everything is correct. No. No, everything is correct. No. طيب إن شاء الله. Are both pages for homework or just the first 9? No, both pages. And even for you, Kareem, we're going to give you extra work for asking that question. Kareem, you got to go to the next page. Okay? You got to do the extra work. You got to do the test. Same, inshallah. Right, number 5 is good. Number 5 is correct. All right, we're going to stop here. Okay? Y'all have 2. Y'all got the first 9 and second 9. Take your time. I'm going to record it. I'm going to put it on hopefully tonight. Inshallah, everything will be good. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. And good to put mudaf before mudaf ilayh. I don't know what that means. It's wajib. You have to put mudaf ilayh. You have to. You have to. You have to.